It's now linebacker day at the Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. Joining us now, fresh from the podium where he was grilled mercilessly by the assembled media, UCLA linebacker Carson Schwesinger. Carson, welcome.
Thank you.
What's it like being in a setting like that where you're just getting, I've never been in that setting where it's like that question from here and question from here and you never know what it's going to be.
Yeah, you know, I mean, maybe it could be a little stressful, but at some point you end up getting used to it. I mean, you have the same thing kind of in college, you know. So you kind of just get used to it and walk in kind of knowing what you're going to get and just give the answers that
right.
you feel.
I hear you. How many people asked you if you surf or you're a California surfer?
I didn't get that one yet. I
No?
had a decent amount of coaches though, and I always tell them, look, I could get up on the board, but for how I look, I should be able to surf a little bit better.
You did. All right, that's why I wanted to have a little fun. Yeah, you look like you could like rip through some waves pretty easily.
Yeah, I say I wish I was a little bit better, but you know.
They're probably going to tell you, don't surf. Don't
Yeah,
do it.
right,
They
right.
got all sorts of things in the contract that you're not allowed to do once you sign with you. You can go out and get injured on an NFL football field, but no, away from that, no, don't do anything.
Uh-huh.
So you got to explain this to me. I'm always amazed. Like, walk-on, UCLA. Now we're going to the NFL. Like, how the hell did that? How did it happen?
Yes, sir. I think starting out, it was really my only option out of high school, but I knew I wanted to play, and I kind of had that belief in myself that I was good enough to play. And starting as a walk-on, I think, honestly, walk-ons are kind of the backbone of college football. They bring a certain aspect to each team, so it'll be interesting to see how college football plays out now with all the rule changes. But like I said, you bring that certain aspect of just hard work ethic and you know, ready to show up every day and try and outwork everybody to prove that you belong there and prove you're one of the best players there. And so that's kind of just been the mindset throughout the journey over the 4 years.
Were you a late bloomer? Like, was it like a thing where like colleges didn't recruit you because like you hadn't filled out or thickened out, or what do you think what's the assessment there?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure. I think maybe it was around 2020, that junior to senior year, which, you know, took out all the camps because of COVID and things like that.
Right.
So, you know, that could have attributed to it, but regardless, I was just thankful to be able to get an opportunity at a school like UCLA.
Do you have like a stack of rejection letters or communications or anything that you can use as fuel and motivation for all the people who had it wrong about you?
No, I don't necessarily have a stack. Obviously, you remember that people that didn't believe in you in the beginning and things like that. But for me, it's been very easy. I'm a competitive guy at nature, so regardless of whether somebody is, you know, views me highly or not, I'm going to go out there and play 100%.
Right. Didn't matter to you.
Yep.
Well, what you know, who do you model your game after as far as middle linebacker is concerned?
My favorite linebacker probably is Luke Kuechly, so I'll go back and watch some of his old tape. You know, I think he was very cerebral, and just the way he was so quickly able to diagnose things, even pre-snap, is something that I aspire to do as well. But there was also a level of just violence. You know, the switch would flip once he got on the field. A lot of times you hear people say, you know, he was a nice guy outside of football. You know,
I played with some, trust me.
Exactly, and then the field. And once he's on the field, he's a different type of animal, and you know, that's, I think, you know, an aspect that you have to have as a linebacker.
You talked about diagnosing the play before the snap. I'm assuming you're one of the guys then that's constantly looking at film for any little thing that will give you any insight as to what's coming next.
Yes, sir. You know, I'm a big believer in film studies, so going into the week, that was a big part of, you know, preparation for that week. Even just knowing all the tendencies, third down, second down, formation-based tendencies, where you're really going to be able to narrow the options of the play you're getting down and be able to play fast because of that.
What's the weirdest thing you saw studying film? Like, you know, a guy's knuckle pointing one way, or just some crazy thing like that you picked up that you were right about?
You know, if you go watch some of Nebraska tape, they would have some instances in goal line situations where, or you know, 3rd and 1 situations where their linemen, some of them would be in a 4-point stance as opposed to a 2, and that was really to try and cut and have the running back just jump over the pile. So that was something. There's a play where I'd kind of try and jump over the pile as well to meet the running back in the backfield. And, you know,
did he get the first down?
They did not score on that one. It was,
all right,
it
good.
Was an end goal
Good.
situation.
I just wanted to make sure you were telling a good story there. I just wanted to stay on you. Was it? I mean, California dude. I'm going into the Pac-12, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh crap! I'm in the cold weather in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
What was that like? Was that weird?
You know, I think one of the biggest changes was just the travel. You're going an extra 3 or 4 hours on some of the flights, but I always kind of say at the end of the day, football is football. So I know Pac-12 was a little bit heavier passing schemes versus, Big Ten. You got a lot of 12 personnel, 13 personnel, and running. But, I think when you're playing football, it's going to be physical regardless of who you're playing, where you're playing. And so I think, there was a little bit of adjusting to the travel, but at the same time, that's also football in this day and age too.
Yep.
So
That's right.
Toughest guy you've ever faced on the football field?
Toughest guy I ever faced. I mean, there's a lot of them in there. I was a big fan when we played. Not a big fan because they won, of course, but I thought watching tape, I thought Tyler Warren was one of those players that's very versatile. I mean, they lined him up at quarterback, center at one point,
Right.
tight end, split him out, and he was one of the focal points of that offense, and he didn't come out a single snap.
You how many teams you talked to so far through this process?
I've talked to a decent amount of teams.
A decent amount?
Yeah.
You
I
got
don't know if I have an exact number for you.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, what's that process been like? Have you had to get on the whiteboard yet and do some of that stuff? Yeah.
I keep saying that's my favorite part of what we've done so far. I know you have a lot of different meetings. We've been waiting, medical for long periods of time. So when you can finally sit down and start talking ball, it's pretty exciting. For me, at least, that's what gets me, kind of wired.
Coolest thing, most interesting thing asked at it so far, or whatever process in these meetings that jumped out to you? You don't have to tell a team or tattletale anybody, but just want to hear the story.
I think it's interesting to see, how different each team is gonna approach, how they talk to you, and then just also,
Right.
The things that they want to know about you. Some will have, you try and recite back what they teach you in the beginning.
Yeah.
Some just want to know about you as a person. So really just seeing all the differences and how, each one kind of has their own purpose and why that matters.
Yeah, it is. It's
I've got
cool
these
to see.
numbers here. Is this accurate? 27 tackles in your first 2 seasons, then 136
Right.
last year.
Yes, sir.
What the hell happened?
I think I was really just waiting for an opportunity. Like you said, I started as a walk-on, and sometimes you don't get opportunities purely because of that. And even if I didn't agree with it, I was going to make sure that once I got one shot, I was going to make the most of it.
When's the moment you knew you belonged? That it was all validated, that I was right, I bet on myself, I believed when no one else did, and this is the moment where I can declare to myself and anyone else, I was right.
To be completely honest with you, I knew the type of player I was from the second I stepped foot at UCLA. I remember calling my mom after, the first fall camp and telling her that I was going to play here and be a good player at that. But I think really this year, whether it was in spring ball or fall camp, is where I really established to myself and to the other people around me as well to get them to believe in that.
Is mom a you need a haircut guy, or is mom let it grow?
She was a big you need a haircut guy, especially when it started growing. I kind of do need a haircut right now.
I'm so sick of this. I have older kids, 18 and 40. I'm so sick of this damn haircut. I can't take it.
He's you need a haircut
Cut your
guy.
haircut, okay? Before you go, I do want to ask Combine, what are you going to do? Are you going to do it all?
The goal would be to do everything, but obviously we're going to see when it comes down to it.
All right. What'd you weigh in at? Give me your measurables.
We haven't weighed in yet, but I'm weighing just around maybe slightly under 240.
240. Okay, so you've put on weight over the last year for sure.
Yeah, I played our whole year this year at right around 235 plus or minus.
Okay, all right, cool. All right. What about, the working out? Like you expecting some good numbers 40-wise? You feeling good about it?
Oh, I feel great. I'm ready to show what I can do.
Okay. All right. You want to give us a little guesstimation of where we might fall? Like we've had a few edge pass rushers go, I'm going to run somewhere in 4.5s. I know they're hoping 4.4.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I could just tell you it's going to be probably one of the top times or whatever numbers.
That's all I want to hear, big guy. That's all. All right, you heard a top time.
There we go. We'll see how it goes.
6'2",
we'll find
240?
out soon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all
Carson
right.
Schwesinger, UCLA linebacker on his way to the NFL. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.